Just how intense are the rides at Universal Studios Orlando? Hey Pugh crew, welcome back. If you're new here on this channel, we like to talk about all things theme parks, including updates, news, and even give you tips and tricks to help you plan your next theme park vacation. What we're going to do in today's video is there are 13 rides at Universal Studios at the Universal Orlando Resort. So we're going to rank them, but not just any ranking. We are going to rank them based on intensity. We're going to start with the least intense ride and work our way up to the most intense ride, obviously.
Coming in at number 13 on our list is Shrek 4D. This ride has a total of 0 inversions and a maximum speed of 0 miles an hour because it's less of a ride and more of a show or attraction.
Oh, it's a show, all right, and you know exactly what kind of show it is.
On this ride, you get to see a little skit where Shrek and Donkey go on a spooky adventure to save Princess Fiona from Lord Farquaad's ghost. And obviously, from the name, this is a 3D ride with the glasses and all. The 4D aspect comes in with the interactive auditorium. In this auditorium, your seats bounce and move around, and you get sprayed with water and air to make you feel like you're really there. But aside from the interactive seats, this is basically just a movie theater where you get to see a little skit of Shrek.
So the most thrilling part about Shrek 4D is the fact that we probably won't have to deal with it much longer. They should be tearing it down anytime now.
Number 12 on our list is Despicable Me Minion Mayhem. Minion Mayhem is a simulator ride where you're turned into a minion and subjected to all of the necessary training. The girls convince Gru to let them train this particular batch of minions, and things go slightly awry. When this ride first debuted in 2012, it was a 3D ride, but in 2019, Universal decided to take away the 3D aspect and convert this back to a 2D ride. This ride was never very thrilling because it is just a motion simulator, but we feel like it was more thrilling when it had that 3D aspect. In 11th place is the E.T. Adventure. This dark ride is based off of the classic Steven Spielberg movie and recreates the iconic flying bicycle chase.
Ouch.
E.T.'s home planet needs him, and it's up to you to help him return home and save his planet. This ride hits a thrilling top speed of 5 miles an hour and a maximum height of 12 feet.
There is no way that when you're flying over that town, you can see like the building. You're not just 12 feet in the air. You're way up there.
You're 12 feet. And even though this ride is more thrilling than some of the simulator rides we've already talked about, we definitely think that it will be okay, even for the most timid of children.
So, something to keep in mind. Your children will be okay, as long as they don't look Magdoll in the eye. Whatever you do, do not look Magdoll in the eye. I'm serious.
Coming in at number 10 on our list is Race Through New York starring Jimmy Fallon. This ride is a 3D motion simulator that debuted in 2017. On this ride, you race Jimmy Fallon himself on his Tonight Rider through New York City, and you even end up on the moon. You come face to face with several of the Tonight Show regulars like #ThePanda, The Roots, and even Sarah without an H.
Ew.
This motion simulator ride is quite a bit newer than some of the other motion simulators that we've talked about, and this updated technology makes it just thrilling enough to land itself in 10th place.
Coming in at number 9 is Fast and Furious Supercharge. The thrills are abundant on this ride, and they all come when you finally get off of that party bus. Next.
In 8th place is Kang and Kodo's Twirl and Hurl.
This ride is very reminiscent of something you would find at your local fair, except you can get on it confidently knowing that it wasn't built in the same amount of time that it takes to pop a bag of popcorn.
This ride does reach a maximum speed of 13 miles an hour and a maximum height of 10 feet, which is just tall enough to see over the hedges and get some awesome views of the park. So, even though this ride is themed more towards children, don't let that deter you. This is a must ride in Springfield. Number 7 on our list is the Simpsons ride. This is an indoor dark ride that takes you on a thrilling adventure to Krusty Land. Before the ride starts, the vehicle is hijacked by Sideshow Bob, and that's where the fun really begins.
Yeah.
This is a 3D ride, but the effects are computer generated instead of your typical 3D glasses that we're all accustomed to.
That is why it's ranked higher than the rest of our stationary 3D rides, and that's because the real ride doesn't begin until you get off of the attraction. If you're like me and you fight motion sickness, you're going to be riding this thing for 30 minutes.
The ride mechanics itself are also a little bit more intense than the rest of the simulator rides. Instead of just walking into the ride vehicle that stays in place, the ride vehicles do lift up into a giant IMAX theater, and this allows for the motion of the ride to be a little bit more intense. Number 6 on our list is Woody Woodpecker's Nut House Coaster.
Yes, this is a real attraction, and it is actually at Universal Studios.
This ride is classified as a junior coaster, and it takes you on a wild adventure through Woody Woodpecker's Nut Factory. And yes, this is classified as a kiddie coaster, but it does reach a maximum speed of 21 miles per hour.
Some people are going to disagree with where we have this ranked because even though it's a kiddie coaster, it's a coaster, and some of the rides we have coming up are not coasters. The fact is, some people just don't like roller coasters, but this one is a great place to start. Like if you have somebody who's never been a fan of roller coasters but wants to give them a try, or somebody who's never been on one, it's not going to get any more basic than this. And if they enjoy this, you take them and you strap them into the Velocicoaster. It's just how you progress.
In 5th place is Men in Black Alien Attack. On this ride, you're going through the MIB agent training led by Agent J himself. And during your training session, Chief Zed announces that an alien prison ship has crash landed in New York City and they need all hands on deck. As you move through the streets of New York, you're tasked with shooting as many aliens as possible.
Some of us are better at that than others.
While racking up points. And even though this ride isn't particularly fast, it does spin several times, especially at the end, which is why we put it in 5th place.
Not only are those spins really intense, but the battles that happen between us are also intense. Anna's over there just sweating. She's like, oh, why is my laser shooting left? And I'm just relaxed, racking up thousands and thousands of points. And then looking at her face as she's disappointed as she loses once again.
Coming in at number 4 on our list is Transformers The Ride 3D. This is a 3D dark ride where you enter a vehicle referred to as evac, and you help the Autobots protect the Allspark from the Decepticons. This ride combines the actual track with the 3D screens to make you feel like you are right there in the middle of the battle. And even though this ride never moves very quickly, you'll actually feel like you're racing away from the Decepticons.
Yeah, so Universal does a great job incorporating the 3D screens with the track to make a more intense 3D attraction. I think that's how I want to say it. There's a lot of like tight turns and like movements, as well as some spinning motion in the ride that really make it a pretty intense 3D attraction. We've actually ridden it with friends who love 3D rides, like love the dark rides, all that stuff. And they enjoyed it, but when they got off, they were very much like, hey, we appreciate it. We never want to do that again.
Number 3 on our list is Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts.
So we're going to say the top 3 are really where the line of intensity sort of ramps up and where that line is drawn. Like 13 through 4, if you're going to a theme park, you're probably going to be okay to ride those. You might fight motion sickness, but that's something totally different. As far as intensity goes, this is where it really starts to ramp up. These rides, you're going to need to be sure that you want to get on them before you get on them. We're not saying they're crazy over the top, but these are definitely in a different category than the previous rides.
On this attraction that debuted in 2014, you're led on a tour of Gringotts Bank by Blordak the Goblin and Bill Weasley. It becomes evident that something is wrong in Gringotts, with Harry, Ron, and Hermione trying to steal a Horcrux from Bellatrix's vault. You encounter Bellatrix herself with Voldemort, who has Nagini in tow.
Perhaps a little dose of pain to help you remember. I can't pass it. Like, it's always going to happen.
The trio returns you safely to Bill. And this ride is a steel roller coaster that has a maximum speed of approximately 30 miles an hour with a drop of about 30 feet. This ride also features a 50-degree inversion, which adds to its intense factor. Before we move on to number 2, we did just want to point out that this list is only for Universal Studios, so none of the Islands of Adventure ride have been mentioned, and that means that no, Hagrid's and the Velocicoaster are not going to be in our top 2. But if you would like to see us rank all of the Islands of Adventure rides by intensity, make sure you give this video a thumbs up so that we know you enjoyed it. It also helps our channel. In second place is Revenge of the Mummy. This is an indoor dark roller coaster that launches you from 0 to 40 miles an hour in a matter of seconds. This ride takes you on a behind-the-scenes tour of the set of Revenge of the Mummy, where things take a turn for the worse. The mummy proves that the curse is real by taking control of the ride and stealing your soul.
Nothing more intense than losing your soul.
The ride has a maximum drop of 25 feet and even has a section where it goes in reverse.
We really love this ride, and your first ride on it is unbeatable. Like, it'll never be matched. There's so many surprises and things like that it just makes that first ride something that you wish you could recapture. If you don't like roller coasters, this isn't the ride for you. It is, even though it's indoors, it's a coaster. Like, some people call it like a hybrid. It's a coaster, full blown. Like, anybody who's ridden it and was like, oh, this isn't gonna be bad, it's not a roller coaster, they got off of it realizing it is a full blown roller coaster. The only way that you could really enjoy this ride more, if you do enjoy coasters, is if you had gotten your cup of coffee.
And in first place, we have the Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket. On this outdoor roller coaster, each seat is equipped with a camera to get some totally awesome footage for a music video. Each seat also has its own touchscreen where you get to pick through a list of songs that play during the attraction. The ride starts with a vertical climb that reaches a maximum height of 167 feet, making it the tallest attraction in the parks.
That climb, in my opinion, and I think in hers too, because she keeps her eyes closed, is the most intense part of the coaster. Like, it's something else.
After that climb, it does fall back to the ground, hitting a maximum speed of 65 miles per hour.
Whoa. It does not fall all the way to the ground. Now, that would be the most intense part of the coaster. Like, you climb 167 feet and you're just like, yeah, and then you just die. No. It gradually comes over the edge and you start the coaster.
Okay.
Easy with that to the ground stuff.
Obviously, you stay on the track. But although this ride doesn't technically have any inversions, it definitely feels like it does in a couple places. But if you are looking for that stomach drop feeling, this is the ride for you. This ride has 6 major drops that will absolutely give you that feeling, and it is a great way to wake up in the mornings.
All right, guys, that wraps up today's video. Leave us a comment in the comment section and let us know, do you know the Muffin Man?
If you enjoyed this video,
The Muffin Man?
give us a thumbs up. You can hit that subscribe button
Muffin Man.
and turn on that bell notification so you get an alert every time we post a new video.
Thanks for watching on Drury Lane.